Are there,
Are there?
shadows in space are quite prominent just because the sun.
How do you make shadows in space? Like, is that?
Think about the moon.
Oh, okay.
One face and the whole other face of the moon is a shadow.
Yeah.
But hey, in the game now, talk to me a little bit about how you expect this Rune Mirror matchup to go. What is happening on Kionys' camera? Is that some beautiful art?
I think it is. Yeah.
What?
Wow.
What?
That's nice.
I want to see it. All right.
All right.
You know what? We can't get distracted. Here's the mulligans, guys. Break it down for me, Envy. How do you feel about this mirror match, and who do you think has the upper hand coming into it?
Well, mirror matches are never fun. It doesn't really matter, what the two archetypes are. Both hands look actually fairly kind of okay. I mean, double insight sometimes is kind of bad, but I didn't actually see I didn't catch if Sizourney was on the play or the draw, but...
Yeah, I didn't catch that either. What we do know, so it's a mirror in so much as they're both playing spell boost decks. The big difference, though, is that Sizourney, as a departure from his earlier Conjuring Force combo, he's actually just taking a more straightforward approach with Daria and playing Enchanted Sword.
Right.
So I really feel like it depends on who spell boosts the fastest, who can actually go off first. Daria has an edge if it can get the Daria early. But
Always, yeah.
But if he
Always.
doesn't, then D-Shift could pick it right back up and just win by turn 7, 8, 9. So.
Yeah. So Sizourney's on the draw, actually, so that's a little bit better for him. I feel like, wow, all 3 insights. I feel like when you're playing Daria and you're able to evolve Levi's, and get those piercing runes lowered more often, and make Ogler stronger, I feel like Daria has an advantage. But oh my gosh, Kionys' hand.
Yeah, right. So Kionys has an anti-aggro hand, which technically could be good, but not against this new spell version of Daria. So realistically, we're going to see Sizourney cycling a bunch. He's got Fate's Hand. He's got a lot of low-cost cards in his hand. He does have 1 Piercing Rune and even a Mutagenic Bolt in his hand that can't really do anything against D-Shift. Whereas Kionys has some cards that also don't do anything at the moment with Wind Blast. And is that a Rite of Exorcism I see?
It is, yes, it is, yeah. That's kind of how the Rune matchup works, though. It's like, they both have hands that don't really do anything, and it's like, that's Rune in a nutshell. Right. Sizourney is just, like, not drawing anything useful, whereas Kionys has almost the whole combo in hand.
That's right. He did draw into the Merlin. He got the D-Shift pretty early, and now he is drawing some filter cards, just got a Magic Missile, so he's going to be able to do some work. Now, the real question is if Kionys really wants to play that Merlin at all in order to give Sizourney a target for his spells, otherwise he wouldn't have one. So.
That is true. He does have to balance that sort of effect. But he drew another sorcery cache that he can cast on Dimensional Shift next turn. And Sizourney still hasn't found a Daria. Like, he's just...
I think he's just going to try to...
Oh my god.
The pre-Evo. He's like, you know what? Your Wind Blast probably isn't big enough, but little does he know, Kionys has the answer in Rite of Exorcism.
He does. He can't cast... Oh, he does have... Yeah, he's on 5. He can't cast a Sword Cache in the same turn, though, so...
Okay, so we see Commence Experiment as well. Do we know what kind of tech he's running for that? Or is that just going to be another small-costed card that he's playing?
Usually, Golem Assault is the tech for that.
Okay.
But I don't see one in his hand, so...
I see. So basically just an extra modifier so that you can get all those 1 costs so you can speed up your spell boosting. Got it.
Exactly. It's just it's a 1 play point spell. Goes for the Rite of Exorcism Enhanced. He has to basically skip his turn now, though, so... Ugh.
Got a spell boost out of a card you wouldn't normally be able to get a spell boost out of, though, so not the worst.
True.
And
although it did function as a worse Dance of Death. So.
Yes, it did. Didn't do the extra damage. And yeah, like you said, Sizourney's just kind of sitting here. He's got a lot of pings. He's got some Angelic Snipes. He's got another Insight. He can spell boost a little bit, but there's no end game here. Like, there's no Enchanted Swords. There's no Darias. There's nothing that he can really get any action going with.
And he should actually be really scared right now because Kionys just held the turn there. He was in the tank for a second. He was wondering, like, what can I do next turn? And wondering what Sizourney could even be up to because he's not doing anything. Like,
could we just stop and talk for a second about the fact that Sizourney is playing on his phone in this major competition where he's got his camera out? I'm assuming he's playing on his phone, right?
Sizourney?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's played on phone every time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I just think it's very interesting. Like, that's his like comfortable like
that's
arena.
His way of playing.
Yeah.
Kionys finds a 2nd Dimensional Shift, evolves Merlin, filling his hand completely too. Finds a Fate's Hand with it.
Looking really good for Kionys right now, and honestly speaking, Sizourney's going to be able to use one of these Piercing Runes. He might even Mutagenic Bolt, maybe just to, like...
Ah, there it is. Commence Experiment.
Get some damage going?
Get a card out of hand. Actually, Sizourney's hand is actually kind of fine right now.
You think so?
Yeah, he's got a Blade Mage. He's got double Piercing Rune, a Blade Mage. If he can find, like, an Enchanted Sword and start getting that going, maybe.
I'm going to see here. Okay, here we go. Some filter.
He's just, man.
Perfect.
You don't want to cast it on the Merlin, though. Good. All right. Finds an Ogler. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah. Piercing Rune, perfect. So realistically, Sizourney's just hoping, okay, I hope you can't go off anytime soon.
Yeah.
Like, we need a few more turns. Hopefully you didn't get that D-shift early, but we know differently.
Well, realistically, like, Dimensional Shift, for it to go off on 7, needs like the draw. Like, it has to go in every single turn to get that 7 play point kill. Usually 8 play point kill is way better. But he doesn't have any Flame Destroyers.
He doesn't have any Flame Destroyers. So he doesn't have any Golem Assaults, like you said. Like, we're probably thinking about in the deck to finish him off. So, yeah, we're both kind of just... They're both kind of waiting for their endgame packages to arrive, and now that we're getting this late into the game and those Flame Destroyers aren't spell boosted and all that kind of stuff, maybe Sizourney is getting back into the driver's seat here because all he really needs to draw is a few more aggressive cards to finish this out.
Exactly. Every single bit of damage that he is able to tack on Kionys, the longer Kionys takes to draw his win condition and Flame Destroyer, or anything really now at this point, is just that little bit of just gateway that Sizourney needs to just close it out, because he has way more burst than Kionys does. You know, barring Dimensional Shift. But
and I like the seriousness that these players have on their faces right now. Like, in weeks past, you saw them, like, laughing, jumping all over the place, all that kind of stuff. Sizourney especially. Never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
Right on cue.
I was going to say, Sizourney was the player we saw with, like, his feet up, eating ice cream, like, laughing at everything that was happening. Like, and it just... He was looking serious till I yawned. And
yawning,
okay,
walking away. Never mind. Not taking this seriously at all.
You know, every player handles things a bit differently.
Of course.
This could be Sizourney's serious place.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. So he does... Kionys produces another target for a Piercing Rune here.
Which is interesting and actually could end up mattering. Another Kaleidoscopic Glow. Wow.
Perfect.
Okay. And Angelic Snipe. This is actually getting dangerously close.
Yeah, it is.
For Sizourney to just kill him.
I really feel like Sizourney shouldn't play the Ogler or any other of these followers just to basically mitigate what Kionys can do.
I was going to say I agree, but he obviously doesn't.
No.
So he's going to go in.
Yep.
And this could actually end up being, I'm not going to say him throwing the game, but this could be him throwing away an advantage that he didn't know he had.
Right.
Because he has to feel the pressure of Dimensional Shift. He has to assume that Kionys has the means to kill him next turn on 8 play points. It's very common. He's been playing the cards that, you know, kind of portray that, but he doesn't. He can't do anything except for kill these and then put Sizourney in a spot where he can't, you know, do anything.
Right.
So...
Now, if this Levi gets played and both of the followers get dealt with on Sizourney's side and the Levi remains, that's yet another Piercing Rune target that he's going to leave up for Sizourney. So he's got to be aware that this is happening. So maybe he takes a back seat to that and just, nope.
It looks like he's not going to. I mean, he could really heads-up play, bounce it back to his hand.
That's true.
With Kaleidoscopic Glow. But, I mean, come on. All 3 Piercing Runes? Come on. How lucky can Sizourney get, right? Yeah, come on.
You're right. And Sizourney's new, like, this spell boost version of Daria, I'm not sure if you guys are very familiar with it for those of you who are newer to the game, but it used to be an all-follower-based deck with a few spells thrown in. The new version is all spells, essentially, with a few followers thrown in, just so it can combo a lot more, be a lot more filter through the deck type of game plan. So we see games like this where it can drag out, especially if there's not any targets for the spells earlier.
Exactly. All the followers have been like condensed into the ones that actually do stuff and benefit the most from spell boost, cutting all the fat like Clarks and Craigs and, you know, Amy Lou's and all that junk that doesn't really do anything.
All the stuff when you see in your starting hand, you're like, man, this could be so good.
This could be really good.
This could be so good.
He's still not finding anything that actually ends the game though. He's gonna go for a Dimension Shift.
Okay.
Evolving Levi here lets him do 7 on the backdraw, putting Sizourney at 11. But even if he has a second Dimension Shift that's castable.
Let's see how this goes for him. Maybe he just felt the pressure. He's like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I just want to force another turn.
He does still have 2 Dimensional Shifts. He's got one that's getting pretty low. I can't actually see the spell boost combo on it, but he doesn't actually have to kill Sizourney. Right, he could just clear the board and be fine.
That's true. Yep, Wind Blast on the Ogler. And yeah, Glow, like you said, Glow on the Levi would make it so that there aren't any targets.
Although you have to consider, like I kind of joked about it, but him having all 3 Piercing Runes is actually kind of, you know, odd. It would be.
That's true.
It would be very, you know, lucky for Sizourney in this situation to have all 3 Piercing Runes, which we know that he does. So it would be weird for Kionys to just give up this pressure for free, I think.
It would be interesting to see, like, Piercing Rune into Mutagenic Bolt. He's got 8 play points next turn, so, like, he could get in a 3 damage spike right there. Just so that would put, like, a Blade Mage top deck, lethal range.
Right.
Top deck Levi in lethal range as well.
Well, if he doesn't actually kill the Ogler, that would actually just be lethal because the Ogler would attack and then...
That's true. I'm pretty sure that he's going to kill them.
Yeah. Hopefully.
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 I think, yeah, he's at 5. He knows.
This Levi can go face.
Wait a minute.
This Levi went face already, actually. No, he just has lethal. Yeah, this Levi went face. Oh, Dimension Shift.
Oh, okay. So it is live. So he's got 10 damage.
8.
So he needs to draw 1.
He has 8.
Or 8 damage, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's just
not
going
being able to
for-
see these dimension shifts is really getting to me. Oh my gosh.
This is literally setting up for the turn I was talking about.
Yeah.
This is going to be Piercing Rune Mutagenic Bolt 5 damage.
Well, he can just actually just bolt. He can just bolt. Or just literally Piercing Rune attack and it's over. Like, he has to get rid of this Ogler, and there's a Wind Blast in hand. I assume there's a Wind Blast in hand all the way to the right is going to be on the Ogler for 22. Jesus. For 22.
This is lights out for Kionys.
He's actually dead. Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now it's just bolt time. Bolt for the win. That's that.
Literally just bolt. He played.
Oh, wait a minute.
So
No,
directly.
he can't. He can't. He has to even the life
Oh,
totals.
because he'll die first.
That's
You're
right. He'll die
first.
Never mind. Maybe he doesn't know that.
You die on the person's turn. If it's your turn, you die. Kionys loses. There's no draws in Shadowverse.
Wow.
You can't draw in Shadowverse. It's not possible.
Wow.
Sizourney wins. Yes, you can't draw in Shadowverse. It's a very
Perfect.
weird. It's a very, very weird engine thing. But if it's your turn and both of you die, you lose.
I could have sworn if it was your effect, you die,
No.
but apparently it's your turn.
If it's your turn and you both die, you lose. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay.
Sizourney knowing how the game works there.
Perfect. Well, he's on the main stage this time. I'm not, so perfect. If he knows what to do, that's all we can ask.
Oh my gosh, what an ending.
All
It's
right.
educational too, because I don't
Yes.
think many people even knew that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good info for all of you out there. Kill yourself, but not on your turn.
If it's your turn, you lose.
That's right. All right, so Sizourney is going to move into his second deck. Not sure what was banned this time, so it's either Aggro Bats or Forest. Oh,
Forest.
baby.
Yeah.
Here we
You
go.
knew it was going to be Forest. Come
Here
on.
we go.
Who bans Forest, right?
And he gets the matchup we like to see for Forest. We get to see Haven.
Although this looks like this is neutral Haven, so...
Yes.
Is that a matchup you want to see? Like, usually Roach kind of preys on the slower Haven decks. I don't
You're
know
right.
about the, I don't
You're
know about
right.
the faster
We've
one
talked
neutral.
about Forest in the past being really suboptimal
Counter,
against
air quote counter to Haven.
Yeah, but not this new
yeah.
crazy neutral Haven that tries to spit out the board like old Daria decks did. So, just for those of you who don't know, the strategy of these two decks are Forest is playing this long combo game with a little bit of early game, pick at your dudes with fairies and Sylvan Justice and things like that. Whereas Kionys is playing a deck where you're just trying to out-aggress your opponent like crazy, but as we can see, and we talk about Kionys' hand and what you don't want to see in neutral Haven.
You don't want to see any of this, except for that Lion. That's about it.
Right.
Having so many amulets clog up your hand that aren't neutral, for those of you who don't know what Lion of the Golden City does, is every time you play a neutral follower, his cost goes down by 1, and when he comes into the battlefield, he'll pop an amulet out of your hand for free if it costs less than 7. I think it costs less than 7. So he'll break one of those March Hairs T times for free, but...
it's going to be a long time before that happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time. There's also nothing in his hand really doing anything right now, so...
And I like the tech we see from Sizourney. Instead of Wood of the Brambles, which we've been seeing a lot of, he might even be playing that too, but he's got Angel of the Ward to help clear up the early game so that it's not so susceptible. But to continue what I was saying about what the Forest deck does is it plays Roach. Roach is a 2-play 0.11 follower with Storm. There we go. He just drew it.
Animated even.
Yep, animated. And every time you play a spell before it on your turn, it gets +1/+0. So essentially you're trying to play a bunch of spells, play it, you have bounce effects in the deck with Nature's Guidance, replay it, and then just do a ton of damage after saving up your 0 cost from Fina and Elven Princess Mage, or just get later into the game with your 1-cost spells and then just go ham.
Exactly. I love these Angel of the Word techs. You kind of mentioned it a little bit, but like you already have fairies attacking things.
Yep.
Right? Angel of the Word controls the early game. He comes down and does that extra damage. 2 damage is pretty good. He kills a lot of things.
And everybody is afraid of the Ancient Elf plays on like turn 3 and 4, so they clear out the fairies.
Exactly.
So you know they're going to attack your fairies.
Mind games. Got him.
Mind games.
Lion of the Golden City coming down, popping a Tin Soldier, and choosing to use the 3 damage to face. It's going to let Fina have its choice here. He can clear either one with Fina now.
Yep. And this is still kind of scary, though. This is a type of turn where Forest wants to just trade the Fina out immediately for, like, the 1 follower your opponent has, but Lion of the Golden City definitely changes up that dynamic.
Does, right. You basically played two lions that turn, right? Because one will die, and, the lion won't get the lion actually could evolve now. This is fairly dangerous.
I'm interested to know why he took out the follower that was already evolved
Right.
instead of the one that could evolve for more damage.
Exactly, right. The Lion is still able to evolve into a 7/7, whereas that Tin Soldier was sort of capped at 5. And normally, you know, in a normal trade, that's what you would want to do. You want to take out the one that can become stronger, because this Lion can actually just evolve and go face now.
Yeah, this could be 7 damage directly to face. We know that we see Kionys has a little bit of tech in his deck too. He's playing Tina to be a little bit more defensive. He's also got the T-Time that can go face and trade, which I think might be the most optimal play here.
That play was also extremely, I don't know, weird against Haven, because Dark Shun would just close the game.
That's true.
Dark Shun would have just won the game right there. Lion evolves, you play Dark Shun, it's over, I win. Like,
the deck lists are revealed to the players, so he might know that there's not Dark John.
Maybe.
We're not sure
if there
about
isn't
that,
a Dark
yeah.
John, true.
I won't let you get away.
Still, I don't know. Dark Jun's kind of common these days.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I would have been a bit more scared to do that. But Aaron comes down, evolves over the Tiger here, and just a Fina on the board.
So I feel
Tina,
like this is Kionys' big push turn. If this like Lion, or I mean, if this T-Time into the board that he already has doesn't really finish out the game, he's kind of out of gas.
Exactly.
Whereas Sizourney, what we see is he's got the Dance of Death to help clean up the board. He's also got a Roach in hand, and he's got 2 Goblin Mages to go find other Roaches, and he has 2 1-cost spells. So not next turn, but in the next couple turns, maybe 8 turn 9, he can put together a lethal play.
Exactly, and that's kind of what you see about these neutral Haven decks. They kind of trade, like normal Haven can go late game with like Themis, Aegis, Seraph plans, but these neutral Haven decks, they trade a lot of that early game gas for not having any late game whatsoever. Like if you can outplay their early mid game, they just don't do anything.
Yeah.
They just fizzle completely.
Yep. Because not a lot of card draw. He does have one little backup card draw with the Hollow Dogma in his hand, which we'll probably see come out next turn. But this is the big final push here.
Yeah, this is his last moment. Even then, Hollow Dogma won't even pop that March.
Right.
It'll still be a 1. Elf Twin Assault's pretty strong if he had...
1, 2, 3, 4. So it does do 4. So he could dance the 5/6 and then Elf Twin's Assault.
Yeah, he actually can. Yeah.
Oh wait, but that would reduce because.
Oh right, he has to. Yeah, he'd have to, because then Tina wouldn't die. Got to snipe Tina. Can you get lucky?
Maybe he just goes for it. Maybe you play Elf Twins first and then you hope it doesn't hit the 5/6. Nope.
He's gonna dance first. Okay. Yeah, there's no way to add any more neutrals to hand. He's gonna go for a Goblin Mage play.
Okay, so he's just gonna clear board. I think he's gonna go super safe.
This is interesting though, because it's his last evolve being used, and no Aaron's in hand to give him access to more.
Doesn't remove the 2/2. Interesting. The
What's
heal
a
for
heal?
2 is
Yeah.
very relevant too, because like you said, he used his last evolve orb.
Sacred Plea, casting Dogma this turn just because you don't want to float, 7 play points, and then it'll pop next turn, drawing you 3 for the turn, could actually be a pretty big deal.
Do you think the drawing the extra cards or getting the follower and play faster is better at this point?
Drawing cards.
Yeah?
Drawing
Okay.
cards 100%. He doesn't agree.
He does not agree.
Wow! Oh my gosh, that's going to stall him very hard.
Well, drawing cards is what he's going to be able to do, but not anytime soon.
The thing about getting the follower on the board versus playing cards, I guess I can see this, is that most of your followers in your deck don't aggress the game plan as much as a 4/5 generic would.
It's like a small margin, but you don't know, like we just saw, you don't know if you're going to draw a follower or not. So like making sure that you get a big fat follower in play could have been the right optimal line, which is what he decided to do. We'll see if that works out for him.
Like I would have rather gone and found an Eagle Man, because I feel like in this situation, if you don't find Eagle Man, you're dead.
That's true.
This is just over.
We're getting super late into the game, and as we see, Sizourney is up to 3 Roaches in hand with 2 1-cost cards.
And this is actually just over now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Sizourney as lethal.
Yep, so Sizourney, even if he wanted to, could just clear his own board, run all of his cards out. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7 with the Roaches, so he's got 18 damage just with Roaches on a clean board, plus the Angelic Snipe, so
Plus
1
the
more
board
damage.
on the board. He's
Yeah,
got 6.
plus on board
because
damage,
the Tin
yeah.
Soldier can't attack, so
That's true.
Kionys is just stuck here.
Yeah,
I mean,
and a Nature's
my
Guidance
gosh.
for good measure.
oh my, he's gonna do it. He's gonna. Oh, never mind.
He's going for the big party.
Oh my gosh, this is just. Everybody look away.
No,
not-
everybody watch. This is exactly why Forest is the best deck, and you should always play Forest.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is why I love Forest right here.
Disgusting. Sizourney's gonna. Yep. Oh, he actually attacked. Okay, I thought he was gonna walk away and not attack.
Sizourney with the walk away. Wow.
Yep.
What a win. And that really interesting because I feel like both games were quite tense situations for Sizourney, right? I mean, Neutral Haven can be incredibly scary.
Yeah,
incredibly.
Incredibly terrifying, especially when you're having to face